Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Uncommentary, coming to you from Melbourne, Australia, and from Mumbai. With me, as usual, I have my friend Narayanan. Hey, Narayanan.
Right.
And we also have Saurabh, if you would remember him from 2021 series. Hey, Saurabh.
Hey Dev, good to be back on the show. Sorry I haven't been able to be on as
Saurabh, you are
frequently as I'd
unaudible.
love to.
Are you able to hear me, Saurabh?
Yes, बिल्कुल सुनाई
Awesome.
दे रहा है.
Awesome. Wonderful. Welcome, gentlemen. What a day. What a match to look forward to. But before we move into the semi-finals, let's talk about a couple of games that we've witnessed. Some amazing batting performance from India against the Netherlands. I wanted to use the word minnows, but considering the way they've performed in this World Cup and in the previous World Cup editions, they've beaten some popular teams, some strong opponents. I shouldn't be using that term. And we'll also go through one interesting incident that happened between one rather inconsequential match between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. I know everybody knows what we're talking about. Let's kick off. Saurabh, your views on that incident. Angelo Matthews turning into the match to bat rather lethargically.
hmm So so I think Shakib took advantage of the laws of the game. Uh, I'm not English, so I don't usually use the word spirit of the game. So Shakib took advantage of the laws of the game here. Uh, was it a dick move? Yes, it was. But would I do it in an inconsequential game? Probably not. But if this was like a World Cup final and one of their best bats was coming out, would I do it? Yes, I would. I actually most certainly would. Uh, the thing that we should look at is if a bowling team falls behind on the over rate, they get penalized. They've got to bring a fielder in. They get their points docked sometimes. They get match fees deducted. All of these things. However,
And also, if
if
you are in the WTC, you're playing for
yes,
the championship,
correct,
lose
you might
points.
lose your spot. Like Australia at one point struggled because of their slow over rates. And they had 4 points docked because of that when they were playing against India. I think it
Yeah,
was in the 18-19 series or
yeah,
2021 series. Uh, but yeah, so in that scenario, the law that times out the batsman, it's a bit harsh, but I think it's fair to the extent where if it was me writing that law, I wouldn't say that the batsman gets timed out. I would just say you get a 5-run penalty or a 10-run penalty or something like that, rather than just missing out on a chance to bat.
You fail to see that he had everything on. It was an equipment malfunction and not technically a timed out. He had reached the crease well within 2 minutes, and he still had all the equipments on him. It's just so that when he pulled the tongue from the strap
Yep.
came off. So he still had about 5 seconds, but
So this
uh,
is where
when
this
Shakib,
is
by the time he looked behind to the dressing room and he signaled for a new helmet,
and that
Shakib
was it.
blew 5 seconds lapsed and then Shakib appealed. So yeah, technically he's out, but also would you do that? I mean, I can understand if a player arrives late at the crease and he's timed out, you're well within your rights to appeal. But in this case, he had already arrived and it was an equipment malfunction. But
So
that's where
the
the gray part of the law does not
Yeah,
look
I
into.
mean, you should be ready to face the first ball within 2 minutes. You can be at the crease, but you need to be ready to face the first ball within 2 minutes. Usually it's 3 minutes, but for the Cricket World Cup 2023, it has been reduced to 2 minutes.
yeah,
It's a special. It's basically tournament law as they call it.
yeah.
So it's different than what is actually general international law, which is you need to be at the crease and ready to face up. The other thing was when Harsha Bhogle put out his tweet where he just said, like, after Angelo Matthews has put out this tweet that says that, I still had 5 seconds to go. He said, no, the fourth umpire has a job, which is to time every second the moment a batsman gets out. And based on that, even before his strap came off, 2 minutes and 3 seconds had passed.
Yeah.
So that was a whole thing where Angelo Matthews was good. But anyway, was it a good thing to do? No. Was it still in the laws of the game? Yes. Is Shakib going to be invited to Angelo's next wedding? No. That's it.
Well, cut to our season, our tournament, our summer season that we're playing. We know our batting lineup. We know when the opening batters get out, number 10 usually pads up.
Yeah.
I'm the one who goes from the scorebook to go and pad up and get ready. I'm pretty much in my gear. Angelo Matthews is playing for his country. You know the stakes are high. You be ready. 2 minutes, there's no point crying later. You've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes is sufficient time for people to do a lot of things, least of getting ready for your batting. And considering he's returning to international cricket, he should be salivating to go back to bat. But that's what happened, and it created a lot of ruckus and a lot of meme opportunities. And I'm sure people would have seen a lot of funny memes running across, not just in the subcontinent, but across the cricketing world. And I love the way we are opining.
You could see how Kane Williamson asked if his helmet was okay the next match when he walked out to bat.
It's just rubbing into him. Cool. Moving on to the India-Netherlands match. Like I was telling you, shouldn't be fair to call them the minnows, but what an exemplary batting performance from all the batters of the Indian team. Everyone who came into bat scored either a 50 or a 100, barring Sky, who just got to bat on the last ball. But
terrible performance from Sky in this game.
Yeah, but amazing batting by Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul, both of them scoring magnificent centuries. Your take, people.
Oh, should I go first?
Yeah, you go.
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, it was the last group match of this World Cup. The semi-finals were all decided. So yeah, it was about India trying to show to the Netherlands what they have been doing to all the other teams so far, and I was surprised to see it was an unchanged squad. And you called it right there in the last podcast that we would be going with an unchanged squad. You are absolutely right. I called for 2 changes, but yeah, nothing happened. Yeah, it was a parade actually. Rohit, in his usual, gave that blistering start, 91 in the first 10 overs, and then Gill as well played a small part. You see, Gill has been very quiet this entire tournament. From the time he's been recovering from dengue, we all expected this World Cup to be about Gill, but Gill has not shown the promise what he's been shown what he's been showing in the past. So yeah, maybe these 2 matches could be Gill's time to come into the limelight. But yeah, apart from that, KL and Shreyas did beautiful, scored hundreds, both of them. Virat unfortunately missed out, and I think it's the first time in a cricket World Cup when the top 6 batters have scored 50s. It's never happened in the past. So yeah, we put up a healthy score of 410, I believe. And then Rohit decided to give everyone bowling in the entire team, barring Shreyas and KL because both of them scored hundreds.
Well,
yeah, it was a clinical batting performance. Like, absolutely amazing batting. The only thing I could poke holes in the batting would be the way Virat Kohli got out. playing all around that ball, which
Mm.
on any given day, Virat would never miss that back foot punch. But you know what? If he had to miss that, I'm happy he missed it in the last group match and not in the semi-final. So it'll be good to see him pump Mitchell Santner today. It'll be a fun game to watch. But at the same time, the way Rohit rotated the bowlers, by rotated I mean gave everyone a go, I think it was also, it could be looked at two ways. One is, you're actually being disingenuous with the Dutch by telling them, although we can all have a ball and you guys still won't get a score. But at the same time, you could also look at it from another way where it's like we've got Shami, we've got Bumrah, we've got Siraj, who've had a healthy, if not a bit excessive workload on their shoulders throughout this tournament.
Yeah.
So if I have an opportunity to save them, keep them a bit fresher for the next game, which is going to be one of the most important games that has to be played, might as well let everyone else have a go. So I think it was a pretty smart decision by Rohit. Another thing about the Netherlands I would like to point out, and this is my personal opinion, is that as far as wicket keepers are concerned, this World Cup, I have not seen a better wicket keeper than Scott Edwards of Netherlands. He's been amazing behind the stumps. His technique's amazing. His footwork's been great. The way he's been grabbing balls and he's just been absolutely amazing throughout this whole World Cup. Kudos to Netherlands for the way they've played. It was really good to see them get some runs towards the end of the World Cup as well. Great to see that they beat South Africa as well. And I was just looking at the player stats and I was looking at the top 10 batsmen with the highest runs. And apart from David Malan, everyone else is going to be playing in the semi-finals.
That is a very interesting stat. Thanks for pointing out. And the way the Netherlands batted as well, comparing them to other stronger teams in Sri Lanka and South Africa, when India scored 300 plus runs against these teams, they were bowled out for less than 100, whereas Netherlands managed to score 250. And like you rightly said, it was important that we gave some rest to our premier bowlers. And you never know, you might come up with a surprise wrong-footed medium pacer in the form of Kohli, or some surprise off-cutter in Rohit Sharma.
I'm not looking forward to seeing any of these guys bowl during the World Cup, I'll be honest.
That ball, that wicket, Virat got a wicket from, that was such a shit ball. I mean, I'm sure Scott Edwards might be kicking himself. Like, that was not a wicket-taking ball. But fair enough.
When Virat's wife was laughing at the way he got that wicket, it says a lot about that ball.
And I was surprised, after the match, they interviewed Paras Mamre, the Indian bowling coach, and he said, I'm quoting him, he said, it was a very well set up wicket, because just before the ball, Kohli glanced at KL, and he glanced at him saying, I'm going to bowl that line. And KL was expecting that ball down the leg side, and the batter fell for it, and he nicked it and got a wicket.
I love Paras Mamre, but I refuse to believe this.
I can't imagine how optimistic you can be.
If Virat bowls it down the leg side, everyone has to be, that was part of the plan.
That was part of the plan, exactly. You can't say anything about Virat.
If someone hits a six of Virat, was that also part of the plan?
That was really interesting. But like we said, we thought it was a fluke. They can enjoy, and fans can enjoy. Okay, that was a brilliant plan. Moving on to brilliant plans.
We also look at Surya Kumar being given the taste of his own medicine, 2 consecutive sixes of his own bowling, and I mean, if you look at what we have been doing to all of the bowlers, I think that was good. It was a different sight to watch when you could see Gill, Rohit, Virat, and Surya all bowling. And it's almost like gully cricket, right? So you pay money to either bat or bowl. Shreyas and KL both scored 100, so they never got bowling. Rest everyone got a chance.
Thanks. And that was a good analogy and a good analysis of the matches that have been played so far. Moving on to the big one, the big semi-final today in less than in almost 2 hours now, 7:30 local time here, and toss will play a very important role. But before the toss, the team composition. My look at it is we'll play the same 11 that we've been playing. Your take, people.
Both
I
teams would be
have a
stupid to change.
very. Oh, yeah, go for it, Saurabh.
Oh, sorry. I'd say both teams would be stupid to change their lineups at this stage, especially India, which is working so well. I think New Zealand has some injuries, and Carl Jameson's been seen training at the Uncommentary, so we might see him come in.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from that, I don't really see any changes to tonight's lineups from both teams. Like, even if I look at New Zealand's lineup, it looks pretty much it's looking like it's going to be the same. You'll have Devon Conway and Rachin Ravindra opening, with Kane coming in at 3, Daryl Mitchell coming in at 4. These are the top 4 we actually need to watch out for. Mark Chapman and Tom Latham, Glenn Phillips. Yes and no, they haven't fired in this tournament, and I really don't want to see them fire. However, by the time they come out, it will be our spinners operating, and I really don't think they'll trouble our spinners too much. When it comes to the tail, you're going to have Bolt and Southey with their swing, and Ferguson and probably Santner with their Ferguson with his raw pace, and then Mitchell Santner with his turn that'll probably cause us a bit of trouble. So I think the New Zealand lineup will pretty much stay the same as from their game with Sri Lanka. I don't really see, unless there's an injury, I don't see anyone being replaced. Yeah. Oh, yours, Narayan.
No, Ryan, you.
Oh, I'm going with a very old move that I'm getting in Ashwin in place of Kuldeep for the semi-final. There are two things over here. The reason the last time we played the Kiwis in Dharamshala, the two went wicketless. And you could see that Mitchell attacked Kuldeep because they knew that you can't attack the quicks. So you have to attack one of the two spinners. So they attacked both the spinners. And Kuldeep got smashed. Albert, he picked up 2 wickets over there. But his figures were not that great compared to all the other men. And Wankhede is a small ground. It is not big. It's easy to hit sixes. Players have played there. The wicket is not that great to bat on in the initial few overs in the underlights. So yeah, win the toss, bat first would be the popular opinion. But I think India should not be concerned considering that they have a good record chasing as well. But yeah, this is my only. I'm going at a very unpopular, uncommentary opinion that I think Ashwin may come in place of Kuldeep.
Yeah, I mean, considering the number of left-handers,
it also boosts the batting in a bit because Kuldeep is not that great a batsman compared to Ashwin, as well as Ashwin is potent against left-handers. We all know that, and New Zealand have 4 lefties.
Yep.
So considering all that, I think Ashwin deserves a chance. Though yes, unchanged squad is what people are looking at. Don't change the winning combination. Don't change the winning momentum.
Yep.
But I don't think this changes anything because this is a very close-knit squad. The vibes are good. People are enjoying the company of each other. There is no challenges in the dressing room. So, yeah, I think everyone would respect the decision whomsoever is taking this.
Yeah, fair point. And that's what I love about our show. We welcome unpopular opinions. That's what Uncommentary is about. And I would love to see that. But being, like people have been saying, the common sense is play the same squad. And
Don't fix what's not broken.
exactly, yeah, and win the toss, bat first. But like you said, Saurabh, I don't see a reason why India would be worried if we have to chase, because Wankhede has a very even record and a very true pitch. What you have to do is you have to bat out the first 10, 15 overs on
Yeah.
whether you're
Yeah.
batting first or batting second. If you do that, the ball comes onto the bat really easy. We've seen that in the previous games. Glenn Maxwell single-handedly, of course, leaving aside what Afghanistan could have done, could have bowled to his weakness, but leaving aside, this guy single-handedly took Australia to victory, chasing 290. Yeah. So it
As
is
much
possible.
as batting
knocked
first is important.
Afghanistan out of the tournament as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. And
as much as batting first, as much as the toss is important in this game, I'd also like to say it's not. See, if India win the toss, we know we're going to bat first. If New Zealand win the toss, they have batted first before, and we've chased it down quite easily.
Yeah.
So they might put us in. You never know.
Yeah.
One really good thing that we have to give
that.
Yeah, exactly, right? Well, it's one really good thing that we really need to give the curators of all the grounds across the country credit for is that they haven't let dew affect the outcome of the match as much as they could have.
That's a very important point. Well said.
I don't know what treatments they've done, but yes, they're still, dew formation is a natural phenomenon, but the way they've gone about curating the grounds, setting it up, don't know what materials they're using, but dew has largely across the whole tournament, across all grounds, been pretty much inconsequential. I haven't seen a game being affected to the extent that its result is being determined by dew, and which is why the concern that people have with the dew coming in later in the day at the Wankhede, I don't really see that affecting this game too much either.
Yeah. And also using two match balls helps because the ball stays harder. And we've come a very long way since the history of cricket, where there's been cricket has evolved. And like you said, dew is no longer a factor. 100%. The curators deserve that pat on the back, and much more than the pat on the back. So we all agree, win the toss, bat first, or if India bats second, then probably restrict New Zealand to less than 300 for an easy chaseable target at the Wankhede.
India also has the world's best chaser.
Yeah.
But
I never thought I'll ever hear that. I'll never feel that way.
I do believe that the 2019 knockout of New Zealand will be the back of the mind, and they would love to remove those memories by winning today.
Yeah, we all hope so. Before we wrap up, we'll also touch on another important game and the other important game that's on our hand, which is the other semi-final between South Africa and Australia. And if you believe the weather report, we know weather reports can be crazy, but crazy weather has been predicted for this time around. They say there could be threats of a cyclone.
Yeah. The chance of rain has just gone up to 30%.
30% is not that great. But
No, but it was around 3%, I think, through 2 days ago. So it's a bit scary. And it's just rain consistently after that for the next week in Kolkata. So I think there's a question for you.
That spells bad news for Australia, especially under the new rules of the knockouts.
Yes,
yeah,
which basically means the team that finishes higher qualifies.
Yeah, will qualify. So South Africa is basically in if the match is a washout.
Yeah. Although I don't see how the match can be a washout as such. Like 30% during the day, I think we should be able to get 20 overs each side in.
Yeah.
I think it
That'll
could be
be
more than
fun.
that, considering that Sri Lanka and New Zealand's match at the Chinnaswamy, there were threats of rain and the match getting washed out, and Pakistan easily qualifying to the knockouts. Well, there was not a single rain break that entire day. It was sunny. Then
Yeah.
the rain forecast shows that rain is expected after 6 p.m. Thankfully, the rain didn't come at all, and New Zealand ended up winning the match comfortably.
Yep. This
True.
is, I'm really looking forward to the Australia South Africa game as well. And now this might be my pride as an Indian cricket fan talking, but I think tomorrow's game will be a lot closer than today's game.
Will be fun to watch.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
two teams
South Africa
competing.
would just like to bat first. They'll be
Yeah.
praying that Australia sends them into bat, and Australia would like to put them under the pump by sending them to chase rather than batting first.
I mean,
Yeah,
24
and
years ago, yes, what happened was exactly that. Australia batted first, and then
England batted first, and South Africa was chasing, and then
wasn't it
the
Australia?
semi-finals.
Yeah,
England.
1999 was Australia or South Africa.
Oh, 99. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the 92 World Cup. And
No, 99 when these two met last time in the semi-final with Lance Klusener at the crease.
That was
Klusener and
wonderful
Donald.
match.
Alan Donald Lance Klusener incident.
Oh man, that was one hell of a match. We can't forget. Cricket is such a game. It has given us so many wonderful memories over the years. So many beautiful matches. Some close chases. Some really wonderful defense and a team winning by one run. We've seen it all, and we're really proud and really so happy that we've been able to witness such a beautiful game. One last comment from each of you before we wrap it up and say goodbye.
I'm going with India, and I'm going with South Africa for the other semis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. It's going to be an India-South Africa final with an undefeated World Cup win for India.
That's amazing. We are in our India colors. I hope the same. Being an Indian Australian, I would hate to see Australia lose tomorrow, but considering all the elements that we have, looks like an India-South Africa final, and we hope it is this way. And we thank you for joining us. Thanks, Saurabh. Thanks, Narayanan.
Thanks,
and thank you everyone for watching.
Also, Dev, I'd be really looking forward to being back at the cricket club on Tuesday after India have won the World Cup.
Absolutely. It'll be with pride. And
it would be better if we beat Australia, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be South Africa.
We'll turn up in our India jerseys.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Thanks, people. Enjoy the match and see you before the finals. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.